Good morning. This is Larry Edelson from my Uncommon Wisdom weekly market video update for Thursday, May 19th. Not a lot of action so far this week. A lot of consolidation in many markets, tight trading range, continuing to see the dust settle from the rout of a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of not surprising that we're seeing this sideways action. Of course, sideways action in the markets always is a precursor to the next big move, and the question being, what is the next big move in these markets? So let's go right to the gold chart right now. I want to take a look at the charts immediately for you. As you can see in the gold chart, there hasn't been much action in the last few days. We've been chopping around in the support area here defined by this uptrend line, which you see here that I'm clicking on right now, and support here at this channel line, which is constructed by my cyclical methods on this chart here. Too early to say. Cycles are rolling over a little bit in gold. We should probably see and expect some continued weakness going down to about 1477, which has so far held quite nicely. If that gives way, we'll probably see a test of 1425 in gold before the next leg up. A little bit too early to say. However, again, the long-term bull market in gold remains firmly intact, and none of these short-term moves should really be of concern to you for your core long-term holdings. Let's now go to the silver chart. Silver continues to whip around like crazy, but in the same basic pattern that we've seen over the last couple weeks since the crash in silver unfolded. Silver, as you can see, just you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see from this chart here on silver that silver has some continued downside in it, and as you know from my columns and reports, I'm expecting silver to fall to at least 28, possibly the $23 level. That would of course happen in conjunction with a decline in gold to 1425. And if we do get that decline to 28, even better 23 in silver, I will be backing up the truck and loading up on silver for its next leg up in its long-term bull market, which by 2016, now that sounds like an awful far way off, and perhaps it is from a short-term point of view, but over the next 5 years we should see silver easily exceed $135 per ounce, and probably quite higher than that. Okay, now let's go right to the dollar index. The dollar index is continuing to hold its recent rally, and that's pretty much good news as far as I'm concerned, because the dollar was so oversold on a short and intermediate term basis. We needed the dollar to stage some kind of bounce in order to be within the healthy confines of a long-term bear market, and that's what we've seen so far. And keep in mind, the long-term bear market for the dollar is very much intact. I don't think the dollar index can get above this purple line here at about 78. If it rises up there, it'll find pretty good resistance in there, and it'll probably turn back down and take out this low. And the dollar is headed much lower over the next few years. The euro has its own problems, but the bottom line here is two of the world's biggest paper currencies, most widely traded currencies, are losing purchasing power. And that's something that I've been talking about extensively. The financial monetary system is in the throes of a breakdown. A new monetary system will be needed down the road. It will probably involve a single world currency, at least for international trade purposes. Now let's take a look at the Dow Industrials. Dow Industrials are like the other markets, pretty much whipping around in a range between 12,003 and 12,006, trying to determine its next move. We could see a rally up to 12.8 and then another move back down, or we could start to roll over here and decline below 12,000. Too early to say. Cycles are kind of neutral on a short-term basis for the Dow Industrials, but the Dow, like many other markets, is really waiting short-term to see which direction the dollar takes in the short term. Having said that, keep all recommended positions intact, and of course, stay tuned to all my publications. This is Larry. Have a good weekend.